Good afternoon and welcome, Dead Ball fans, to the famous and historic Polo Grounds as we are set to engage in game number 2 of our sprint to the 1908 pennant. And this was the game immediately following the Merkle game between the Giants and Cubs, as these arch rivals took the field again at this point, tied still for first place in the National League. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have already won the first game in our Beyond the Merkle game replay, are now a half game behind them. So just a refresher on this project, I will be playing all games for the Cubs, Pirates, and Giants from September 24th, 1908 through the end of the season, roughly 10, 12 games apiece, to see if the pennant race will come out as it did in 1908, where the Cubs and Giants finished tied and had to have a replay, which featured a matchup between Mordecai Brown and Christy Mathewson for the pennant, or if the Pirates can possibly overtake them both, or one will be the clear and decisive winner. So we are ready to go in this matchup. Mordecai Brown, Three-Finger Brown, takes the mound for the Cubs, and he will face the left-hander for the Giants, Hooks Wiltz. And again, just as a reminder, I have compiled stats from baseballreference.com for all three teams up through September 23rd, 1908. And then I will be adding these stats from the replay as we go forward. So this should be fun. And again, always fun when these two teams meet. This should be a good matchup. The Cubs have the advantage on the hill. You can see Mordecai Brown's card, depending on his stuff, is pretty solid. Hooks Wiltz, a little bit behind that. So we're going to roll for stuff first of all. And Wiltz will go first. And if you're not familiar with Fall Classic Baseball, you start each game with a bullpen session. And Wiltz is going to have his B grade, which is his normal stuff. And Three-Finger Brown for the Cubbies, 17. And Mordecai, he's going to come out of the gate a little rusty. And again, I have a house rule on stuff. Instead of applying this for the entire game, if a pitcher rolls above or below their normal stuff, I will do a re-roll on the fourth inning to see if they can either regain their normal stuff or if they fall off from their above average stuff. So the specifics are set. We'll go through the lineups real quick. For the Cubbies, leading it off in right field is Jack Hayden, Johnny Evers at second, Frank Wildfire Schulte in right, the peerless leader Frank Chance at first, Harry Steinfeld at third, Solly Hoffman in center, Joe Tinker at short, Johnny Kling behind the dish, and as mentioned, Brown on the hill. For the homestanding Giants, Fred Tenney at first, Buck Herzog at second, Roger Bresnahan, the Duke of Tralee, behind the dish, Mike Donlin in right, Cy Seymour in center, Art Devlin at third, Moose McCormick in left, and Al Bridwell will be the shortstop with Wiltz hitting the 9 spot. Bears Den has joined us at the ballpark, and excited to have this matchup. The Cubs and Giants, of course, were ferocious rivals back in the early years of the 20th century. And as mentioned when I introduced the project, from 1901 through 1914, when the Boston Braves finally won the pennant, the Merkle Braves, it was the Cubs, Giants, or Pirates winning every single National League pennant from 1901 through the end of 1913. So we're ready to go. Hayden to lead it off against Wiltz. And again, Wiltz pitching with his regular stuff. And 35, we're going to go to Wiltz's card. And right off the bat, a possible single on 1 to 4. It is not. And whoops. All right. Again, I use dice roll with the fast action cards. And that's going to be a ground ball down to second base. 1 down to start the game for Hayden and the Cubbies. Johnny Evers, the fiery second baseman, steps in. And as we go through this project, I'm still working on getting a little faster playing this game, as I've still only played less than half a dozen games of Fall Classic, which I'm loving so far. But as we get more into it, I'll have my 7th inning fun facts back in action. And all right, Evers, and he's going to ground it down to shortstop, and there for the easy routine play is Bridwell, 2 down, and that brings up Frank Wildfire Schulte. And 24, and that is going to be potential hit by pitch, but 14 is above that, so that will be an out, and that's a drive into center field. Coming in to take that on the run is Cy Seymour, and the Cubbies are set down in order here in the top of the first inning. So taking the hill for the Cubs, he of one of the greatest curveballs of the time period, due mainly to the fact that his pitching hand was mangled by farm equipment in a childhood accident. Mordecai Three-Finger Brown, and again, pitching with his Poor Stuff. He's going to face Fred Tenney to get it started, and Poor Stuff is still pretty good. But Tenney, he starts the game off with a single for the Giants, and he's going to go for a stolen base, 5, and that is going to be above his jump rating, so he will stay put. Buck Herzog, and wasting no time, the Giants going to play small ball. They know Mordecai is tough to get to on the hill, and 5, he gets a bunt down, but that's going to be a fielder's choice. And 6, that bunt is fielded by the pitcher, who pivots and makes a throw to second base. So 1-6 on the putout, and fielder's choice for Buck Herzog. Brings up Roger Bresnahan. And the Giants catcher digs in. Here comes pitch 52. We are going to the defensive chart. It is not a strikeout. And again, the KD defense rule, if the pitcher, if the 1D20 matches the pitcher's strikeout number in their particular column, it would be a strikeout. If it's above that, it is a defensive result. And 52, that'll be a potential error by the shortstop. And down at short, and of course, error is a big part of the dead ball era. Joe Tinker, and he is a 10, and 14. He makes a nice play there. And that is actually going to be a 6-4-3 double play. So Tinker comes up big, and a leadoff hit's wasted as we head to the top of the second inning. No score in this one. And Matt, Steeler Fan 1933, has joined us at the ballpark. I appreciate you stopping in, leaving a like, and go Bears also, or hello Bears, go Cubs. Here we go, top of the second, and Frank Chance will lead it off. And again, the peerless leader. It's going to be an out, 32 off of Hooks Wilson's card. That's going to be a ground ball down to second base, and an easy play there for Herzog. He's made 3 of 4 putouts. So Wiltz looking strong as the southpaw gets the signal. 55, and strong indeed, but Steinfeld is going to drive that one into left field. So the Cubbies have their first hit of the game, and he's going to stay put as Circus Solly Hoffman in at center field today for the Cubbies steps in. 32, and that's going to be an out. Be a fly ball into center field, and going back a few steps to pull that in is Cy Seymour. Retreating to first is Steinfeld, and 2 down for Joe Tinker. And Tinker and Evers, of course, everyone knows Tinker, Evers, the Chance, a very famous poem. It's part of lore of the dead ball era. And Tinker and Evers had a disagreement and actually hated each other. And purportedly, it was due to Tinker giving Evers a particularly hard throw on a force out at second base that hurt Evers' finger. And Evers indicated for that, after that happened, they just quit speaking to each other. So if it was as simple as that, kind of crazy, but that's how it is. And it's going to be a range check, a potential double. That's driven into center field. And out in center field for the for the Giants with a rating of 10 is Seymour. So 10 or less. And Seymour does not get to that, and that is going to drop. And that, again, will be a double, and an F runner is going to score, and Steinfeld is average, so he'll stay put at third base. So second, third, 2 runners in scoring position. As clutch 2-out double by Tinker. That brings up the catcher, Johnny Kling. And here comes the pitch to Kling, and 34. That is going to be a single. So Kling gets a hold of a Hooks Wills fastball and drives that into the outfield. Second to home, F and A score. And Tinker is indeed a fast runner, so 2 runs come home, and the Cubbies, who lost this game in real life 5-4, have jumped out to a 2-0 lead here in the second. And this is a huge game. Every game between these three teams involved in this replay is going to be big. So the Cubbies with 2 runs and Brown on the mound is huge. Here comes a pitch. It's going to be an out off of Brown's card, a ground ball down to second base, and side is retired. But damage is done here in the second as the Cubbies strike for a couple of runs on 3 hits. 1 left. We head to the bottom of the frame. 2-0 Chicago up early in this one. And RJL stopping by Legal Light. Appreciate it, buddy. What you got going on your channel tonight, Robert? Payoff pitch or some other game, Fall Classic. And check out RJL 518's wonderful channel. He does a smorgasbord of different baseball replays. 26 as Mike Donald leads off the second inning for the Giants, and that is going to be a single against a right-handed batter. So he takes Mordecai Brown the opposite way, and the Giants are in business here to start the second. Steps the center fielder Cy Seymour, and that's going to be an out. And that'll be a fly out to center field. Would have been a double play on a ground ball due to the X on the card. Instead, Donlin scampers back to first base, and that'll bring up the left fielder, the left-handed hitting Moose McCormick. I'm sorry, that'll be actually Art Devlin. Devlin, the right-handed hitting third baseman. Here comes a pitch, and 63, we go to Brown's card. That will be an out. Brown, even with his bad stuff, is still a solid pitcher. So the right-handed hitting Devlin, that's going to be a ground ball down to third base, and first base is occupied. So we look at this number right here. Runner out, 5-3, and slow runner on first is going to be erased on the fielder's choice. And we have a fast runner on first in Donlin. So he advances on that. That was a slow roller. 5-3 on the putout, and runner in scoring position for the left fielder. Now the left-handed hitting Moose McCormick. Here we go. And Bears Den 007 is happy the Cubbies have jumped out to a lead. 56, we go to Brown's chart. Swing and a miss. Mordecai Brown comes up clutch with a runner in scoring position. And that retires a side as we head to the third. 2-0 Chicago up. And it's going to be top of the order. Hayden, Evers, and Schulte. Here we go. 31 to Wiltz, and Hayden almost takes his head off, hits that hard back up the middle, and a leadoff single to start the inning. Johnny Evers, he's going to lay down a bunt. And again, the Cubbies playing more small ball. And again, that's going to be a fielder's choice. And a 6. That ball is hit back to the pitcher. So Wiltz wheels around, and that'll be a 1-6 put out. Fielder's choice for Evers at first, as Frank Wildfire Schulte steps up. Neither team has been solid with their bunts early in this one. 62 going to the pitcher's card. That's going to be an out. And that will be a ground ball down to third base, fielder's choice. So Evers will be retired 5-4, and Frank Schulte is on at first. And that brings up the peerless leader, Frank Chance. And Chance had a reputation as being a very vile opponent, quick to fight, and kept up a constant stream of harassment from the dugout or the coaching box. But Wiltz is going to get the better of him this time, as that'll be a ground ball down to third base. Going a long way across the diamond with a sharp throw is Devlin, and Chance is retired. So the Cubbies get a hit, leave 1. We head to the bottom of the third inning, Chicago clinging to a 2-0 lead. And the Giants looking to make hay against Mordecai Brown while he has his poor stuff. It's a foul ball out of the ballpark, and we go to the 54 chart, and that's always a fun adventure. Bases empty. So it'll be bases empty, wild, single to center field, roll versus E rating for an extra base. So again, in center field for the Cubbies, Circus Solly Hoffman. He is a fairly good defensive outfielder. He has a 5 for an E rating, and he's going to make the get to the ball. It'll still be a single, but Bridwell will not get the extra base. And that steps or brings up the pitcher spot, hooks Wiltz, and Wiltz, a sacrifice rating of 5. He's definitely going to lay down a bunt. and unsuccessful there. So 2 strikes on Wiltz, and he's going to have to hit away. Does not want to risk a strikeout, and 45 going to Brown's card, and even in the bad column, that's going to be an out. So it'll be a ground out to pitcher. Fielder's choice to 1-6. If Brown has a strong arm, which he is average, that will be a fielder's choice. So a lot of fielder's choice plays early in this one. 1-6 on the put out to retire Bridwell. And that's one thing I saw mentioned on the forums on this game, that someone thought there was quite a few fielder's choice plays. And I think it just depends really on the dice roll. I need a bigger sample. And also, too, as I mentioned earlier on ground outs, this X result overrules fielder's choice and turns it into a double play. So back to the top of the order, Tenney the batter. 34, we go to Mordecai's card, and in the bad column, that is going to be a single. So Tenney drives that one into left field, and 1-3 hold. And what this one, if an outfield, or I'm sorry, if a roll of 1 on the white die outfielder assist. So if that was the case, if that had come up a 1 instead of a 4, we would have then checked the left fielder. And for the Cubbies, Jack Hayden, and actually Hayden is in left. He's got an arm, a weak arm, and a 0 assist rating, so he would not have been able to throw the runner out. So that worked out good for the Cubs. So we now have runners on first and second. And that brings up Buck Herzog, 1 out. He's going to hit away, 63, and 63 goes to Brown's card. That's going to be an out. Fly out to center field, and second to third, all advance. And if there is an F or F plus, I guess you say, on first base, which is not the case, he would have advanced too. So it'll be a sacrifice fly, and going to third is Wiltz. So 2 outs. We have the Giants' first run 90 feet away. Roger Bresnahan, the catcher, steps up, 16, and that will end the inning for Brown and the Cubbies. Fly out to left field. A harmless fly ball out there, taken in by Hayden, and side is retired. So the Giants have 4 hits, but they have been unable to scratch a run out through 3 innings. We head to the top of the 4th. 2-0. Cubbies in the lead, and since Wiltz had his normal stuff, we will not re-roll for his stuff. We will re-roll for Brown's to see if he can improve. So if Brown, again, my house rule, if he rolls anything below a 15, his stuff will revert to normal, and he does. And I'm just doing that to see how it plays out in terms of not having too much of an impact on pitcher stats. All right, here we go. For the Cubbies, it's going to be Steinfeld, Hoffman, and Tinker. Any number 4, 13 to Steinfeld. And it's going to be a drive into left field, and coming in to take that is McCormick, 1 down to start the 4th. You can see once this game gets going, played a game offline where I wasn't chatting, and got through a game in about 25 minutes, a lower scoring game. So this game really does play fast, especially as you get used to it. And we are going to the defensive chart with a roll of 52, and that will be a potential error on the pitcher. And I'm going to start using this 1D20 now. I should have announced that earlier, but error rating of 6 for Wiltz, so that will be our first error of the game. And again, errors in the dead ball era prevalent. So E1, Hoffman is at first, and Joe Tinker the batter. And Frank Chance is going to order a little bit of a hit and run here. So hit and run, we roll off this chart, 2D6, and add the dice together. A 5, ground out to first baseman, runners advance 1 base. Hit and run is super simple here. That'll be a 3 unassisted, and going down to second base is Hoffman, and it brings up the catcher, Johnny Kling. Yeah, he does incorporate splits, Bears. You can see on the 26 here. Again, it's very minimal. In some extreme cases, it would be 25 and 26. And, supposedly, I don't have a big enough sample size, but supposedly it does play out and even things out. And I'm fine with that in terms of hits. One thing I would like to see, though, or wish the game had, would be more of a discrepancy in strikeouts and walks for splits, because there are some extreme examples of that. But, overall, that's really been my only nitpick with the game. It plays really well. I'm having a lot of fun with it thus far. As Kling steps up, and that's going to be a single on a 1 to 10 result. It is not. 15 will be a fly out to left field. So that will retire the side as McCormick makes his second put out of the inning. No hits, no runs, 1 error, 1 left as we head to the bottom of 4. And it's going to be Turkey Mike Donlin, Cy Seymour, and Art Devlin for the Giants. Brown back to his average stuff, and we get a defensive role to start the inning. So 52, a potential third base error, and 7, that probably does not bode well for the third baseman, Harry Steinfeld, and he does need boot that. That will be a 1 base error. So the Cubbies have their first error of the game. E5 puts Donlin on, and Donlin is speedy. Seymour. Again, we are in the dead ball era. Lots of bunts, and that is a successful bunt. Our first one of the game out of 3 attempts. And that's going to be fielded by the catcher, Johnny Kling, and only plays to first base. So 2-3 on the putout. And Seymour gets it done. Turkey Mike in scoring position for Art Devlin. And Brown now, his first jam of the game. 62 is going to go to Brown's card, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Brown snaps off that famous curveball, and waving over the top of that is Devlin, 2 down. And Moose McCormick, left fielder, the batter. 22, and Moose gets into that. That's going to be driven into the outfield. And second to home, holds, and F scores. And at second base, Mike Donlin is indeed a fast runner. So he's going to come around with the first run of the game for the Giants, and that will be unearned. So that makes it 2-1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And as usual, these two teams locked in a tight duel. Al Bridwell, the batter, 45, and that's going to go to Mordecai Brown's card. It's going to be a fly out to right field, so an easy play out there for Schulte. And Side is retired, but that error comes back to haunt the Cubbies as the Giants collect a single unearned run. We head to the top of the 5th. It's 2-1, Chicago up. And leading it off will be the pitcher, Mordecai Brown. Brown grounded out to second his first time up. Here comes a pitch, and Brown swing and a miss. Wiltz with the heat, and unable to catch up with that. Brown, not a very good hitter for a pitcher. Back to the top of the order. In an era where pitchers generally were a little bit better overall hitting than they are now. And here comes a pitch from Wiltz to Hayden, and that's going to be a fly ball into right field, and plenty of room out there for Donnelly. The speedy right fielder tracks that down. 2 away for Johnny Evers. And Evers has grounded out, reached on a fielder's choice. Here comes a pitch. And Johnny puts that into play. That's a sharp line drive, and that's going to be speared by the third baseman. So 3 outs. Evers got a hold of that. And again, went the opposite way, but that's pulled in by Art Devlin. And 3 up, 3 down go the Cubbies. And don't look now, but Wiltz has settled down. He has retired. We'll take away the error. He's retired 8 of the last 9, actually 9 of the last 10 batters he has faced. So bottom of the 5th inning, Wiltz is going to lead it off, see if he can help his own cause here. 51, and we're going to have a defensive check. A roll of 5, and 51, that is going to be a potential error on the second baseman. And Evers is a 10, and he's going to boot that. So the Cubbies' second error of the game, we'll see if that comes back to haunt them as the first one did. To the top of the order, Fred Tenney. And Giants are going to play a little hit and run ball now. Here comes a pitch, and 7. And it's going to be a check dice roll 61 for a K. That is not. This is a 52. If not a strikeout, fly out to center field, and runner returns to their base. So the hit and run unsuccessful, and thus far the small ball tactics of the dead ball era are not playing out well for either team. And Bob's Tabletop Sports has joined us at the ballpark. Welcome to Polo Grounds, my friends. We got a tight one here, 2-1, Cubbies in the lead. And this is the game after the real-life Merkle game played at 9/24/1908, which the Giants won 5-4 in real life. So Buck Herzog, 64. We're going to go to Mordecai Brown's card. That'll be an out, and get second out of the inning, a fly ball to center field. So 2 down now, and Bresnahan try to make the Cubs pay for that error by the third baseman. Here comes a pitch. And 32, not going to happen as Brown rises to the occasion. That's a shallow fly ball into center field. Circus Solly Hoffman reels that in, and he made all 3 putouts for the Cubbies in this inning. So no runs, no hits, 1 error, and we are through 5. It's 2-1. Pitcher's duel in the dead ball era. Go figure. Cubbies and Giants. The best rivalry in the early years of the game. So for the Cubs in the 6th, it's going to be Frank Wildfire Schulte, Frank Chance, and third baseman Harry Steinfeld. Here we go. 22 and Schulte, 1-6. That is going to be a base on balls on the split. So other options there were a strikeout and an out. So that works out good as the Cubbies have their first runner on. And we'll see if Frank Chance is going to call his own number to bunt. He's not. He's going to hit away. 63 goes to Wiltz's card. And it's going to be a drive into center field. And that's hit hard, but it's going to be right at the center fielder Seymour, who makes the play. Scampering back to first base is Schulte. And that brings up the third baseman Harry Steinfeld. Steinfeld singled and scored back in the 2nd. Flew out to left in the 4th. Runner at first base. Here comes a pitch, and 32, and that's going to be an out off of Wiltz's card, and another fly ball into left field. So the Cubbies are elevating the baseball here in the inning, but they're hitting it right to the outfielders as Circus Solly Hoffman comes up. Hoffman has flown out to center, reached on an error by the pitcher, 35, and we're going to go to Wiltz's card, single on 1-4. That is indeed a single with a roll of 2 on the 1D20. And first to third, fast runner advances, and Schulte is indeed fast. So we're going to have runners at the corners with 2 outs here in the 6th. And that's going to bring up Joe Tinker. Tinker came up big back in the 2nd inning with a run scoring, actually a double, and he came around to score on a single by Johnny Kling. Grounded out to third unassisted his last time up. And 16 is going to end the inning, and that's going to be a hard line drive hit right to the shortstop, and 3 outs. So L6, as the Cubbies get a hit and a walk, leave a couple, and we're heading to the bottom of the 6th inning in this fast-moving game. 2-1, Chicago up over the Giants. And Mordecai Brown with the curve indeed, as mentioned at the start of the video, regarded along with Rube Waddell as having the best curveballs in the business in the early part of the century. And Mike Donlin, Turkey Mike, he has singled and reached on an error and scored. He's going to lead it off for the Cubbies. And we go to the 54 chart. All kinds of crazy advances or events there. Bases empty, wild. Fly ball to center field roll versus error rating for error. If it is an error, go to the exotic error chart, otherwise a fly out. And a roll of 20, that is going to be above the error rating of the center fielder, Circus Solly Hoffman, who is, again, pretty good out there. So he's made 4 putouts in a row in center field. And the Giants start the inning with a little bit of drama, but turns into an out and brings up Cy Seymour, their center fielder. 24 and 24 hit by pitch on 1-3. It's not. Instead, that will be an out. That's a line drive, and again hit right to the Cubs center fielder Circus Solly Hoffman. He has put 5 batters away in a row, so he's getting his miles in as steps in out in center, the vast expanse of center field, which is the Polo Grounds. As Art Devlin steps up with 2 outs, nobody on, and 65. And that is going to be a potential home run off the pitcher's card, -10, and it's 1-9. So that will be another fly out to center field. So Sully Hoffman has set down 6 Giants in a row. I do not know what the record is for most putouts in a row by an outfielder, but he's got to be approaching it as we head to the 7th inning. And the Giants and Cubs locked in a 2-1 struggle. It's going to be Johnny Kling, the pitcher spot, and Jack Hayden for the Cubs here in the 7th. And Johnny Kling single on 1 to 10. Not this time, Charlie. It's going to be a fly ball to center field. So Cy Seymour, jealous that his counterpart's getting all the action, makes the play there. 1 down for Mordecai Brown. I did shuffle these fat cards, by the way, in case you're wondering. All right, 52, and we are going to the error chart and a potential error by the third baseman, 17. And for the Giants at third base, Devlin is a 15, so he's able to bobble that but make the throw across the diamond. Guns down Brown. 2 outs here in the 7th for the Cubbies. Back to the top of the order, Jack Hayden, and Hayden today is 1 for 3 for the Cubs. Here comes a pitch. And 14. I'm going to shuffle these. I did shuffle these. I'm going to shuffle them again real quick. Too many flyouts to center field in a row. I will count that one, though, as that retires aside Seymour with the play. So Cubbies go down in order in the top of the 7th. We head to the bottom of the frame. Giants looking to dent Mordecai Brown's armor. So far, they've only been able to get to him with the help of errors by his team. So it's going to be McCormick, Bridwell, and Wiltz. So pitch to Moose McCormick, 26, and against a right-hander, that is going to be a single, so the split comes into play there. And second time McCormick has singled in this game. He is 2 for 3, and definitely going to be playing some small ball now. Bridwell squares to bunt. 53, he gets it down. And that bunt is going to go to the first baseman. So 1-4 on the putout, and going to second base is McCormick. I'm sorry, 3-4 on the putout. But that means Wiltz has to do it himself. Wiltz actually a pretty good hitter. He hit 238 in 1908, and you can see he's got singles through 22 on his card, so there is a chance. Brown kicks, delivers, and 46. We're going to the ballpark chart. No home run possible, and 19 is going to be small print. So that I know what it is. It's stretch a single into a double. So that will be fielded by the right fielder, and then we have the opportunity to advance. So first of all, we're going to see what the base runners do. And second to home runner is going to hold at third. So that's kind of actually, I'm sorry, runners automatically advance 2 on that. So we're going to be tied as a single there. And Wiltz, right fielder for the Cubbies, with an assist rating of 4 is Frank Wildfire Schultz. Here comes the throw, and Wiltz hustling beats it in, an RBI double. So we have a tie ball game, 2-2, 1 out, and a runner in scoring position. The Giants threatening here in the bottom of the 7th. And that last sequence was probably as complicated as this game will get, where you have to make a couple of checks. But again, it flows very nicely together as Fred Tenney top of the order up. And Tenney, the left-handed hitter, he's going to ground that down to first base. And moving to third on the putout is going to be Wiltz. So the Giants go ahead, run 90 feet away. 3 unassisted putout for Frank Chance. And that brings up Buck Herzog. And the Giants' second baseman today is 0 for 2. He has a fielder's choice and 2 flyouts, one of which was a sac fly. Here comes the pitch, 56, and going to Mordecai Brown's card, 56 is going to be a strikeout. So Brown bears down when he needs to and gets out of the inning, but the Giants scratch out a couple of hits and a run. We're heading to the 8th. It's tied at 2 in this one, and just what you would like. And joining us at the ballpark, my good friend Tony from Cards and Dice TV. So welcome to the game, my friend. We have a good one going here in this 9/24/1908 game, the game played after the actual Merkle game in 1908 in real life. As we head to the top of the 8th, tied at 2, it's going to be Evers, Schulte, and Chance. So heart of the order coming up for the Cubs. And Hooks Wiltz has pitched a good game thus far, 31. And Wiltz, though, he's going to give up a leadoff single to Evers here to start the 8th. And you know what's going to happen now. 1908, late in the game, tied, dead ball era. We're going to lay down the bunt. Schulte squares and 66. He is going to miss that, so it's going to be 2 strikes. He can bunt again. It's a 3, though, and if he misses this time, it's going to be a strikeout. So they're going to pull the bunt sign off. 45 and 45, that's going to go off of Wiltz's card, and that will be an out. So left-handed hitter with a runner on first base, that's going to be a fielder's choice. F runner at first will be safe at second, and that is indeed the case with Evers. So instead, the only play is going to be to first base. Evers goes to second, so he gets the job done regardless. Runner in scoring position for Frank Chance. And again, you see the interaction and how different ratings can impact the play. So instead of a runner on first with 1 out, we have a runner on second now as Evers was fast. 31 going to Wiltz's card, and that's going to be a single. And second to home, assist check. So that's a single into center field. And the way this works, I mentioned it earlier. So in center field for the Giants, Cy Seymour has an arm of 6. That means he's going to come up and gun down Johnny Evers at the plate, and going to second base is Frank Chance. And that is how the assist rating works in this game, 8-2 on the putout. And fielders with strong arms, when that chance comes up, it's done to really balance the number of assists in the game. So sometimes you'll get to roll. Sometimes a roll of 0 will be an automatic advance. And sometimes, as in this case, with a strong arm in center field, the runner is dead meat at the plate. So 2 outs. Steinfeld, runner in scoring position. He can be the hero. 26, and against a left-hander, that's a single. So Steinfeld, the splits come in. And second to home holes, but F scores, and Frank Chance is indeed an F. And we have a new score in this ball game, Cubs 3, Giants 2. Clutch 2-out single by Steinfeld, taking advantage of lefty-righty split. And that'll bring up Circus Solly Hoffman. 2 down, and Wiltz dejectedly stalks back to the mound. We're going to the 54 chart, and you know what that means. Mayhem's going to break loose. So men on base, wild pitch or pass ball refer to pitcher's wild pitch rating. If 4 falls within the range, it is a wild pitch. So his wild pitch rating is a 5, and that indeed is a wild pitch. So moving to second base is Steinfeld, and Hoffman will reset. And 22, that is going to be a single. And second to home, weak arm advances, average or strong arm run with risk. And in center field, Seymour has that strong arm, so we're going to hold at the corners. And it's going to be a potential stolen base attempt for Hoffman. And we'll roll a new number to see if he gets a jump. And he will get a jump on a roll of 1 to 5. He's going to stay put. So Joe Tinker up, and runners at the corner. No action in the Giants bullpen. They're going to ride out Wiltz in this one, 21. And 21, Wiltz is going to pitch his way out of this jam. Right-handed batter, that's a ground ball down to third base. Side is retired. Oh, actually, no. He only had 1 out. I take that all back. So first base, and actually it's going to be a 5-4-3 double play. So Wiltz is going to get out of it anyway, but the damage is done. The Cubbies come up with 4 hits, can only manage a single run out of it, however, due to the fact that Johnny Evers was gunned down at the plate, but it's enough to take the lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Chicago 3, New York 2. Alex M. has joined us late in this one. Welcome to the ballpark, my friend. We got a doozy going here. And looking at the chat, look, could I have more splits? Yeah, no, I talked about that earlier because I was talking about that with Bears, Tony. I definitely would like to see Some more splits incorporated in terms of walks and strikeouts, because you have some hitters that definitely, and pitchers too, that definitely have a variance there. Would maybe like to see that incorporated on the pitcher's card, but, for the most part, it works, and it's definitely, again, the one nitpick I have, but it's definitely not a game killer. Everything else works so good. And no, you're right. We can nitpick every little thing once. Yeah, and absolutely did. And, like you said, every once in a while splits play a role, and they definitely did here. So the Giants have some catching up to do, and Bresnahan's going to lead it off against Mordecai Brown. And 35, we will go to Brown's card. That's going to be an out. And again, both pitchers with their normal average stuff at this point in the game. It's going to be a ground ball down to first base. And Chance is going to take that unassisted for the first out here in the 8th. Turkey Mike Donlin up. Donlin today has had a successful day. He's scored 1 for 3, reached on a single and an error. And 12, and again, a good hitter, Donlin. This is one of those times that hits spill over, so he's going to get a 1-out single off Brown. And it's going to be Cy Seymour. And no bunt here. They're going to go for it. 33, and Seymour comes up big with a single, a clutch single, and first to third hold. If a 1 is rolled, possible assist. That's not the case. So they're playing station to station, but runner in scoring position for Art Devil. And Brown's going to have to bear down now in a bit of a jam, and possible home run off the pitcher's card at -10. But again, Brown is only a 1-9, so that's going to be a fly out to center field. And in that case, the base runner is going to go from second to third. So we have runners at the corner, 2 outs, and the tying run 90 feet away. Moose McCormick, he scored the tying run in the last inning. Can he be the hero at the plate this time? At 36, go to Mordecai Brown's card, and that is going to be an out. So Brown, once again, extricates himself from a tricky situation as that ball is lined hard back to him, and he spears out with one hand. So the Cubbies escape the 8th as the Giants get 2 hits, leave 2. We head to the final inning. It is 3-2, Chicago in the lead, and this game would be huge for them if they can hold on to win. So it's going to be Kling and Brown, and then top of the order for the Cubbies, 15, and 15 is going to be an out to start the inning. Wiltz induces a fly out to left field, and easy play out there for McCormick. And the pitcher spot, Mordecai Brown steps up. He's definitely going to finish this game. It's his game to lose at this point. 65 will be an automatic out, and that's driven to left field again. So 2 quick outs by McCormick here to start the 9th, and back to the top of the order, Hayden. 64, and 64 going off of Wiltz's card is going to be an out, and that is another fly out to left field. Maybe I need to shuffle these cards a little bit better. But 3 up, 3 down go the Cubbies in the top of the 9th. I'm going to give them a quick shuffle real quick. When I went through them, it didn't appear that outs were sequential like that. It's very possible by shuffling them, I made it that way, but regardless, you play enough, we'll take care of that. So for the Giants here, their last chance in the bottom of the 9th inning, it's going to be Bridwell, the pitcher spot, and then top of the order. And the Giants are definitely going to get a pinch hitter out as the lefty, Larry Doyle, steps up to the on-deck circle. So not a bad game for Wiltz. He goes all 9 innings. Just had a couple of rough innings, really. The 2nd and the 8th. Gave up 2 in the 2nd, 4 hits in a run in the 8th. So on the day, he scattered 9 hits and gave up 3 runs, all of them earned. Walks and strikeouts, he had just 1 of each. All right, so this is Mordecai Brown's game to win, lose, or tie as Bridwell steps up. 45, here comes a pitch, and that goes off a Browns card. That is going to be left-handed batter, a ground ball to second base, and easy play there for Evers. 1 down to start the frame. And as mentioned, the pinch hitter Larry Doyle, the left-handed hitting Doyle, steps in. Hoping that split result comes into play for him. Instead, that is going to be a fly ball into right field near the line. Wandering over to pull that in is Turkey Mike Donlin, and the Cubbies are 1 out away from stealing one as the Giants won this game in real life. That will make a big difference in this replay, the sprint to the 1908 pennant. Fred Tenney is the last chance for the Giants. The left-handed hitter steps in, 23, and that's going to do it, folks, as Tenney drives that the opposite way into left field, and circling under that, patting his glove to pull it in is Hayden, and ball game is over as Brown sets down the Giants 3 up, 3 down in the 9th. So we are going to have a 3-2 Cubs victory, and we'll get back with the line score here. All right, for the Cubbies, once again, 3 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors. For the Giants, 2 runs on 9 hits, 1 error, and one of the runs that Mordecai Brown gave up was unearned. But he goes the distance, gets a complete game win, and his final line score. He will get credit for 3 strikeouts, and he did not walk a batter in this one. Just double check. Yeah, so a really good effort by Brown on the hill for the Cubs, and he gives the Cubbies a much-needed win as they now pull a game ahead of both the Giants and the Pittsburgh Pirates. At the end of the day, 9:24 and 19:08, so we are set for a very good stretch run, and hope you enjoyed this. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Philip, welcome, my friend. Beer sales are over, Philip. Sorry, I can't help you there, but a great game. And what you would expect, Cubbies with a stake their claim to get to the pennant there. And there's, I think, I had a count, I believe there's 11 games left to play for the Giants and 10 for the Cubs if they don't finish tied. And Tony, I'm getting the Crazy Weight book to become a 08 expert. Yeah, again, like I said, you will definitely enjoy that book. It is full of fun facts and does a great job of dissecting both the American and National League pennant races, which, as I've mentioned, in my opinion, for both leagues, it was definitely the best pennant race in the history of baseball. Plus, there's a lot of fun characters back from that time period. So you will definitely enjoy that when you get it. So I hope everyone has a great night. And as long as you keep rolling, you keep smiling. So keep playing games, guys. And we will see you all later. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Take care, everyone.